Hello, YouTube, and welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of Chef Lethal Plays Path of Exile slow walkthrough series. I'm your host, Chef Lethal, and we are here to get started. Now, in full disclosure, I recorded episode 0 probably 2 weeks ago, and a lot's happened since then, both in the game and in my personal life that you don't care about. But here we are. It shouldn't matter too much, only that we're now a few weeks into the league, which I'll explain what that means. And I have not done any research as to how the build that we're going to be using has performed. I have not done any sort of looking into any of the patch notes that have been released since the league started and I recorded episode 0. So here we are. We're going to go into this thing blind. I've got my game open. I've got my path of building here. And I do just want to show you really quickly what I've done. So as I mentioned in episode 0, I've imported the build from the link down in the description. I have to remember my camera's on. I just made a gesture at the camera. And then what we want to do is go to your tree and make sure it's set on the leveling 1 to 13. Any skills, you want to make this on the skill set of 1 to 12. And items doesn't really matter too much, but you want to set it to 1 to just the leveling item set. And you'll see these are just generic items that the creator made just to show you just kind of things that you should be looking for. For instance, for an axe, we want a two-handed axe that's got physical damage attachment to it. So nothing too serious here, but as we go through the game and level up, we will be following this tree. And where necessary, I'll explain why it is that we're doing things that we're doing. So I'll get rid of this and we'll go into the game, and we are going to start our Ground Slam Slayer. As a reminder, this is a minimally edited episode, so you'll hear me flub and do all sorts of things that would normally get edited out. So we're here at the character creation screen. Now you can see all these other characters I have. These are from Standard League. This is the long-standing, just kind of default game mode of the game. If we look at, well, we have show all. It's going to only do that because I don't have any characters in the new league. So I'm going to create, and we're going to use Settlers. This is the temporary league. We're probably almost a month in at the time of recording. These typically last between 3 and 4 months, though lately it's been a little bit longer. At the end of the actual official league, your character will get transferred into standard mode, where it will live on in perpetuity until you delete it. So we're gonna go in with Settlers mode here. In season 1, I did standard mode, so if you want to see that, you can watch those episodes. But we're gonna do Settlers. Solo Self-Found is where you cannot trade with any other players in the game. It makes it a lot more difficult, and Ruthless is even more difficult than that. It's like ultra hardcore mode. Hardcore is where you die and you lose your character forever. Ruthless is items are more scarce, currency is more scarce. It's ruthless. It's really bad. We're not going to do that. We're going to do standard Settlers mode. I'm going to hit OK. Now we've got our classes that we can pick. Now, as I've mentioned in the beginning and already in this episode, we're going to be using a Ground Slam Slayer. So we've got here a Templar, we've got a Shadow over here, we've got a Marauder, Scion. You may not have Scion. I think you have to beat the game once to get Scion. There's a Ranger, there's a Duelist, and there's a Witch. Okay, so you may be thinking, Chef, there's no Slayer. How are we going to do Ground Slam Slayer? Well, you see, each one of these standard character types, later in the game, will be able to get an Ascendancy, which is like a secondary character type. And each one of these guys and gals have 3 Ascendancy choices. You have to pick one. But one of those is Slayer for the Duelist. So pick a name. This is an inside joke for literally 3 people in my Discord. And so hit OK, and we're going to get started. Every game starts exactly the same. Every character you start starts exactly the same. So we're going to be starting in the Twilight Strand, and I will be going slowly and trying to explain everything that is going on. Now, typically, Path of Exile is played very fast. The goal for most players is to get through the campaign as quickly as humanly possible and get to the end game. First thing I'm going to do while my dude is laid out, washed up ashore in Rayclast, is go to my options. And you can check whatever options you want. You can look at your resolutions, all this stuff. It's best to do this while you're passed out. I am going to pick my league starting item filter and load that in. I may need to change. Oh boy, we may have a problem. Will this work? I can't remember the name of the item filter I made. I'm getting error messages here. Okay, so you know what? I'm not even going to edit this out. I'm going to, in my other monitor, I'm going to go to filterblade.xyz, and I'm going to try and see what it is that I have done wrong, because those error messages that were popping up, they were telling me that items that were in the filter are not in the game anymore, and it doesn't know how to parse it out. So I've got to fix that. So I'm in Filterblade right now. Okay, and let me see. Come on, log me in. It's taking its sweet time because I'm recording, of course. Alright, looks like basic softcore might be the one that I created. So let me try that one. Basic softcore. There we go. That one loaded. That's the one that we're using. Save the changes. Any other changes that you make sure you hit save. Some of the other things I like, quest tracking. I don't know what's selected by default. So I'm just going to show you what I have. Corner map I like. Auto center. Landscape, transparency. This will make it so that you can see landscape. I like it all the way down. Map transparency, I like that all the way up. The zoom, that's up to you. That's going to show you, your zoom. Sensitivities. Items, always show sockets. This one you definitely want. Socket notches, you can make it look differently. I just like the default. You can do whatever you want there. Item, just you want show full descriptions, support gem utility pop up. That's very useful to have. Item or life and mana levels. This will show this little icon here, mana 47, life 61. When I close the options menu, it will in perpetuity show that. I like to see it. I'm gonna undo that. That'll be for later on. And yeah, you can change your cursor. I like the pink one because sometimes there's so much stuff going on in the screen, it's difficult to find your mouse cursor. It's good to know where that is. And that's kind of it. You can change your sound volumes, all that stuff, your input. It could be useful to go through some keybinds. I've got a few custom set, but nothing too crazy, and I'll go over those. Like, I just have a lot more skills bound to my mouse versus some of the weird things that the game has you do. Okay. I'm not going to skip all tutorials. Maybe I should. I don't care. Okay, I'm finally able to play the game. We're like 8 minutes into this video. So I'm just going to click up. My dude's going to wake up. He's going to have an exposition. I thought he was. We're going to pick up this rusted sword. Left click to move. Okay, we're going to talk to the dying exile by clicking on him. He's going to start to say a bunch of stuff. And he's dead now. The dying exile is now dead. So I'm just left clicking on that monster to kill it. And alright, this is default attack. I'm going to pick up this double strike here and hit I to view my inventory. And you can see I've got 2 sockets here. Unlike other games you may have played where you have to have a skill tree for your skills, this game is a little bit differently. You get skill gems that you have to find or purchase in the in-game currency or whatever to use, and each color corresponds with a slot on an item. So I'm going to slot it in there, and now I'm gonna select right click for double strike. And now you wanna click for this always attack without moving, so sometimes that could really screw you up. Okay, and now when I right click, I do a double strike. Yeah, and that's gonna use some mana. This is gonna slowly regenerate. We will also be able to use potions by clicking the appropriate number. For me, mana I'm gonna put right here is number 3, and I've got 2 life flasks for 1 and 2. They do not reset over time. They reset as you kill monsters. So now we're in the Twilight Strand. You have the option here to go and kill every single monster if you want. It's a waste. There's literally no benefit to it. I've tested it. Other people have tested it. I'm going to ignore all these people. I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to get our first support gem, and I'm going to put it here. I am going to kill these guys just so I can sit here and chat with you for a second. We did get some gloves. That's pretty helpful. I'm going to kill you. Okay, so now, because these 2 sockets are linked, that little line means they're linked, my double strike is now supported with a chance to bleed. And this means that my supported double strike has a 25% chance to cause bleeding. And bleeding just means that when that ailment is inflicted upon an enemy, they will continually lose HP over time. And we picked up some gloves with a red socket. It's important to note that the skills don't matter where you put them, just as long as you have them slotted appropriately. So I could put my striking skill in my boots if I had boots, and it would not impact the ability of me using that skill whatsoever. Alright, so I'm going to keep on moving down the strand here, skipping all of these things. The reason why I'm skipping all these monsters is because the loot is minimal, and you automatically get a level up when you kill the guy at the end. Even if you've just, like, even if you're all the way down here, when I kill him, boom, I'll get to the level up. Sometimes you get to level up if you kill everything, and then you can kill the last guy, but sometimes not. This is new for this version, is he's got this huge bar that is glued to the top of the screen. Previously, you had to hover over him to see his health bar. This is really good. And now I'm going to show you one of the most important aspects in the game for defense is just literally dodging his skills. So I'm going to run around in circles around him, and he's going to attack where I was, not where I'm going. So now he's gonna stop, and I can just stab him in the back. Oops, click around him. So I see his health is going down. He's bleeding. He's gonna swing. I'm gonna do that. Oop, I got hit there. That's okay. When he gets down to about half, he's gonna take out a sword out of his chest, and he's gonna try to attack me with that. Now his attacks are gonna hurt a lot more, but as long as you're moving, he should not hit you if you're clicking in the right area. Those little crabs are driving me crazy. I should probably kill them. He's bleeding out. Ouch. I'm gonna use a life potion here, and there, he's dead, and I get the level up. I'm gonna kill these guys because I want to stop and talk. I'm gonna just use my default attack on this. I'm gonna pick up every single thing, and we're gonna go into town. I can't go into town. Do I have to? Do I have to use my skill point? Travel to town. Okay. I'd like to. Okay, I guess I have to use the skill point. So now this is the skill tree for Path of Exile. It is ridiculous. It is scary. That is why we are using Path of Building to help us guide where we want to go. And according to the guide, we are starting here with physical attack damage and life. This will give us a little bit more attack damage and some life, which is excellent. Life is key. In this game, you can either click and then hit apply points, or you can control click if you're feeling confident, and you will automatically save yourself a click. So I'll come out of there, and now it'll let me go to town. He'll open the door for me, and we are in Lion Eye's Watch. You did it! You have completed the very first section of the game. You are now a professional, right? Well, maybe. I also want to mention that I'm going to try to keep these episodes about 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes, depending on some of the action that's taking place. They may be a bit longer, maybe a little bit less, but for the most part, I'm going to try to average around that time. And just so, if you're watching on your lunch break or something at work, you can have that done. Or if you're just listening in the background, it's not just one super duper long thing. All right, this is your stash. I just kind of instinctively clicked over here. Here's the deal. You are not going to have all of these stash tabs, okay? You're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you've never played the game before, you've never done anything. Path of Exile does great job at microtransactions. I will say that there are some stash tabs that are almost required if you are planning to spend more than, say, 30 hours in the game. The game's free and stash tabs are relatively cheap, and they are always on sale. I think every 2 weeks they have a sale for stash tabs to make them a little bit cheaper. So just something to think about. One of the big ones that is ultra important is the currency tab. This will make it so all the little trinket item, like currency items, will go into here instead of taking up valuable space here. You can make them premium. Oopsies, I didn't mean to click that. You can make them premium, which means you can click on it and make them public, which you can use for selling items to be available on the Path of Exile trade site, which we'll go into much later. There are quad tabs you can buy, which offer 4 times the amount of space. I find these to be a little difficult to manage just because I have crappy eyesight, which is funny for me to say. Fragments can be useful for the late game, not necessarily in the early game. Essences can be very useful to have as well, especially, again, if you like the game and you plan on playing a lot, some of these are very, very useful to have. But if you were just going to spend $10 on this game and be done with it, currency tab, number 1, you basically have to have this one. Number 2 option would be a map tab, because this is what the whole end game is revolving around, and it is so easy to just be able to click through here and get what you want when you want it, instead of having to dig through, however many stash tabs that you have or don't have. So here we are. We have a twig, spirit shield, rusted sword, and driftwood. I'm just gonna throw these into my stash here to do nothing with right now. I'll probably just sell them to the vendor for later. And I just did that by holding control and clicking, and it will plop it right over. I'm going to take this spirit shield and I'm going to right click my scroll of identify and take this. Now I can't even use this right now. It requires 15 intelligence, so I'm not smart enough. If you hit C, you can get your stats tab, and you can see that I'm a level 2 character. Here's my name, and here are my main stats: strength, intelligence, dexterity. Because we are a duelist, we are going to be focusing on strength and dexterity. That's like, we're going to start to see those kind of blow up. If you chose Marauder is more like just full strength based. Ranger is like full dexterity based. The witch is full intelligence based, and that doesn't mean you're stuck. Like, a witch can't use any strength items or whatnot, but it just kind of helps the character guide them to the types of items that they use. For instance, a witch can use a two-handed axe if they have enough strength. Chances are they're not going to, and they may not even want to, but it can be done. Item type is not limited to the type of character that is holding it, which is pretty neat. I'm in a guild, so we have a guild stash. Doesn't look like really anybody's playing. Okay, so I'm going to throw this twig shield in my inventory, and I'm going to start talking to the NPCs. Nessa, you can listen to all of the excellent voice acting if you want. I am not going to. She wants me to talk to Bestel, so I'm going to go over and talk to Bestel. A dashing duelist, that's me. Okay, go find the medicine chest on the island, and I'm gonna come over here. We've got Tarkley. We get a reward for killing Hillock outside of the town, and I'm gonna just look at my path of building. I'm gonna go to my skills tab and just see if he has anything that we're gonna be wanting immediately. Looks like Spectral Throw is going to be our main skill when we can get it. So we're just going to hold on to that for now. Movement. He doesn't have a movement skill. He's got splitting skill. I don't think really we're going to want any of these. We're not going to want any of these, are we? No. So right now for this character, it does not matter what you pick. I'm just going to pick Cleave. It's funny. I just said it doesn't matter, and I'm here like stressing over the option. Another thing to note. If I create another character right now in the same league, I will have access to the stash tab. Items in the stash are shared across all characters on your account in the same league. I do not have access to my character's stash in standard mode, and my standard mode characters don't have access to the stash tabs in the Settlers League. This is important because sometimes there are characters that, you know, maybe you're playing two characters, you pick up a cool item for one and you needed to trade it to the other character, you just put it in your stash tab and be done with it. Now, my Cleave gem went to my stash tab here because I clicked it. I have this affinity, which means that items that are hot clicked into the inventory will immediately go to that tab with that tag. So basically what that means is if I can do this, I can just manually move over this item to here, but because I have this affinity clicked for gem, any gems that I get, any skill gems that I get that I control click, they won't go here where I'm looking, they go to where my affinity is. You can also override this. I think if you shift control click, it will go to the tab that you're looking at. Little thing there, but it helps me keep organized so I don't have, because sometimes I pick up a bunch of gems because I'm a hoarder. I pick up a bunch of gems that I may or may not need, and I can easily deal with them here. Okay, so that was that, and then there's one other person I have to talk to, Johan. Now, Johan is from the new Settlers League mechanic, which I literally have no information about. I don't even know what to expect. I've done a pretty good job at avoiding what it entails. So we're going to talk to him. Wasn't aware your people had such abilities.
My name is Johan, and I'm from the Far East. My people
okay, I'm not really going to listen to him. I'm going to invite him to my hideout. You're not going to have a hideout right now if you're playing for the very first time. I'm not going to go to my hideout because you don't have one. So we'll show that. I think you get access to it in Act 2. So we'll cover that in Act 2. But right now we have a quest where we can travel to the Tidal Island and find the medicine chest. And it looks like we got a little bit of time before this episode officially should end, so I'm going to keep on going. Let's go. Now here you have the option to kill as much or as little as you want. Because I'm doing a slow playthrough, I will take my time and probably kill more bad guys than I anticipate. We're going to be over leveled by the end game. That's fine. But yeah, this, killing these guys, not super profitable, but look, we're just slicing through, and I'm already out of mana. We're gonna hit the mana potion or flask, and see, like, this guy's running after me. So if they're bleeding, I'm gonna try to avoid wasting my mana and clicking on them again. I'm gonna avoid all these guys because they are annoying. I'm not gonna be able to annoy them or annoy them. Oh no, I'm annoying them. I'm not gonna be able to avoid them. See, I'm just moving out of the way. And they're trying to strike me where I was, not where I'm going. Oh boy, we have quite a following here. We need to go to the Tidal Island. There's something up here. What is that? What is that? Interact with the strange core. I have no idea what that is. So... Oh, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble here. I'm not ready to interact with that. I don't know what it is. Okay, this guy's causing me some some actual distress. Oh, okay. Well then. That's embarrassing. I'm going to go back to my checkpoint. So here's another thing about the skills. They level up. Just like your character levels up, your skills level up, and they get better over time. As you kill monsters, they get experience, just like you have experience down here. Also note, there is no penalty during the campaign to die. Just a little bit of setback, but you don't lose items, you don't lose experience, you don't lose anything. It's great. So I'm going to level up my double strike, and I'm going to level up chance to bleed support. So now this does 11% more damage with bleeding. Previously it was 10, and I'm not sure what leveling up double strike did, just to be honest. Alright, let's get moving. That was very embarrassing. I don't know what that strange core was. There are a number of old game mechanics that made its way back into this league, and that's probably one of them. I just don't know which one it is. I'd like to find out if I could not die again. Also note, this is I like to play the game like this with the minimap overlay. I find it easier to navigate the terrain. You certainly don't have to do that. I hope you don't find it too intrusive. It's just how I like to do it. You can certainly have it off, or you can have it off in the corner. Whatever suits you, but this is how I play. Just so, like I said, I know where I'm going. I have a better idea of the terrain, because sometimes it can be a little confusing. Okay, I would really like these guys to stop moving. It's kind of like the downside of melee combat is you have to get right up in there, and if they're moving, your character is attacking where they are standing too, even if they've moved. I wonder, can I make... Okay, that's something else I meant to do earlier. I couldn't remember because they changed the way left click works. I'm going to make left click move only. This is the reason why I was having some issues with Hillock. I was clicking around him, but I actually clicked on him, and my guy went to go into attack instead of move, which can cause you some problems. Generally speaking, you're never going to use your default attack. You're going to be using skills, and that's what I'm going to be using here. So let me, before I interact with this thing, let me find that guy that killed me. Okay, he's above. I'm just gonna run away. Okay, let me run away from you, please. I don't want to burn. I'm scared. He's following me. This is unusual. They don't usually aggro this far, and there's a dead end. Oh my gosh. I am not a fan. Alright, over here we have an icon for a waypoint. You don't have to click on the waypoint. I think you just have to walk over it now. Yes, you walk near it, it activates. And I need to leave this area, like, right now. Tidal Island. Look, it's where we need to go. Holy crap, dude. That scared the crap out of me. He is mad. I'm not equipped for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some time killing monsters and try to level up, because that's insane. There's another one of these things. Alright, these blue shaded guys means they have some sort of special ability or something there's something special about them. They're called magic monsters. So in the game there are 4 types of different item types. I think I have 2 of them here. So you can have a white item, which is just a base item. It has no modifiers at all to it. It is just a plain, boring item. And then you can have a blue item, which is magic, which means it can have up to 2 modifiers. The modifiers are called affixes, and you can have a suffix and or a prefix. There is another tier that's called rare. It's yellow, and you can have up to 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. And then there are unique items which throw all the rules out of the window and can do whatever the heck they want to do. So now I picked up this chainmail vest, which is different than my current item. So my current item, I have an evasion rating of 35, which just means my character will evade, has a slight chance at evading an attack. Or I can switch that out for something that has some armor, which means any hits that I do take, I take less damage from, and a little bit of energy shield, which I'll go ahead and put this on. I think this might actually be better for me. But you can see this blue bar. This is the energy shield. It will regenerate. So right now, I don't have any life regeneration items, so my life is stuck at 79 out of 99. But if I got hit and this 10 goes away, it will regenerate relatively quickly. So it's a nice little extra defensive layer. We did level up, so I want to use my passive skill here, and we're going to go to the only place that we want to go is to get more increased attack physical damage. So boom, we're going to select that, and we are going to continue moving. Alright, we picked up a shield. My guy automatically equipped the shield. That's a setting in the settings. If you don't want that, you can certainly turn that off. I don't think it really matters for me. I don't know what this is, so let's just do it. Clear the area of monsters. I may not be able to do this. Alright, so I'm just holding down right click here. Oh yeah, also monsters, just like items, monsters kind of come in those three varieties. You can get white monsters that don't have any modifiers. There are magic monsters which have, have some modifiers to them, a little bit more difficult. And then there are rare monsters, which, you guessed it, a little bit more difficult. And then there are unique monsters, which are typically like boss level guys, difficult. Our inventory is full, so let me see if I can. I can rearrange some of this. I don't know if that's going to give me. It's not going to give me the space. In the beginning, it can be useful to pick up a lot of things, but not too many things because you don't want to spend all your time going back to town. This copper sword offers 6 to 14 physical damage, which is better than what we have. I need to identify it. Also, it doesn't have a green and a red slot, which is kind of a problem. In the beginning, it can be useful, almost more useful, to have the right item slots versus the actual stats on the item. So we're getting kind of long here in the episode. I'm going to continue traveling through. I want to get to a decent style. If we hit I can't remember if there's a waypoint here, but we're just gonna make our way downtown, killing dudes and dudettes. We are non-discriminatory. There's also more lore in this game than you can shake a stick at. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can click on every weathered carving, talk to every NPC, do all the things, and learn all the things. I cannot be bothered with it. It's too much for my little brain. Alright, we have another skill that we need to get to. The whole purpose of what we're doing right now in the very beginning of leveling is these little nodes. They're called travel nodes because we are traveling to these bigger nodes, which I honestly can't remember what they're called. And then there are these huge ones. These are called keystones, but I cannot remember what these are called. Doesn't matter. These are the ones that really offer much more things. Like the little ones are going to offer maybe 1 or 2 upgrades, but the big ones, you can see this one has 4 different things that we get. So we need to travel to get there. So we're going to get more increased physical attack damage. We're going to X out of here and continue on. You can see our skill gems over there on the right are almost ready to level up, so we can keep killing dudes. A lot of dudes here. This is great. Gotta get some flask action. We're coming up. Well, I don't know if he's too close. It's been actually quite a while since I've played Path of Exile. I am fully addicted to Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch right now. Alright, so this guy right here, Hail Rake. He's very unique. You may be thinking, Chef, why is this guy unique? He is one of the few bad guys who will actually attack where you're going versus where you are. So you gotta watch out. I'd like to try to get him to bleed. I'm having a really hard time hitting him. Likewise, he's having a hard time hitting me. I wonder if they changed him, because he, I usually have a much harder time with him. I typically die to him. Alright, this medicine chest is a dang quest item, so we need to make sure we have room for it. So we have to drop something. I'm going to drop the quiver, because it's garbage. And, I think I'm going to pick that up. Yes, I can use the portal scroll to get back to town quickly. Which I have one here. I like to have it there, although I'm not going to be able to, am I? Because I have this corroded blade. Let's see. I'm just trying to think if any of this is worth... I don't really have a good way to pick up this chest without getting rid of something. Let's just get rid of that. Pick that up. And that's probably good. This is chance to block 24%, armor 14. I can't even use this one because it requires character level 5. I am not that yet. I am level 4. So, we have successfully done what we need to do here in the title island. So there are two options here. I'll show you the cheesy option. Is I can hit escape, go back to character selection while I'm here, put this on settlers, and then open back my guy Chamption is Duelits. This will bring you right back to the Lionized Watch and save you a town scroll because you only have one of them. Now I'm going to talk to Nessa.
I'd almost stopped believing in miracles.
Okay, and she's going to give us an option for a medium life flask, a medium mana flask, or a quicksilver flask. Now, in this game, movement speed is king. So we're going to get a quicksilver flask. Movement speed almost above all else. The faster you get movement speed, the faster you can move. Believe it or not. I'm going to go back to my Path of Building and look at skills and see if I need any of these support gems. Ancestral Call, I don't think I'm going to need. Let's see, Warbanner Precision. That's an aura. Movement Dash. No, don't need any of those. Really, Chance to Bleed is the only one we need, so... So also, you can see here underneath my mouse cursor, I said mouth. Underneath my mouse cursor, it shows supportable skills. So if I had, 6 other skills available on my person, it would show you with a check mark or an X mark if the skill will work with the support gem. So for instance, I can change my double strike to have chance to poison, but I cannot change it to have piercing support. That's for more like ranged projectiles. So we're gonna leave it the way that it is. I will just, for the sake of this, we're just gonna pick Ruthless Support. Talk to Bestel. He's gonna say thank you. And we're gonna talk to Tarkley.
Got a job for you.
He's got something for me to do. Cool. So now we've got some more quests, and we've got lots of items here that we can put in here. Now we've got these gauntlets that are what, armor 8. I don't think we have anything that's going to be better than that. So let's just put these over here. I'm going to go to the vendor and sell some of this stuff. Okay, so armor 30, evasion 30. Right now I like having the energy shield, so I'm going to leave this. And I'm going to sell the scale plate. The twig shield I don't need. I'm not going to use. I'm going to sell that. Glass shank. Physical damage 60. Now, okay, so I'm hovering over glass shank. If I hold control, it will bring up the comparison tool to show me the rusted sword is what I have active in my hand. And the glass shank is what is in the inventory in my stash. I really need the green and the blue linked sockets. I don't have it anywhere on any of my items, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not going to be using wands. I'm going to get rid of that. Look, another wand, get rid of it. Another wand, get rid of it. This glass shank has a red and a blue. It's better than what I have, probably, but it doesn't have the right colors. Now, later on, there's going to be ways for us to change the colors, but right now I don't have it. Here's an example. It's got 3 sockets, which is awesome. It's got 3 different colors, which is great, I guess. It's fine, but none of them are linked. And we don't have the currency to link any of them, so we have got to do that. And I don't have space right now, although this is actually pretty good. This is going to be... Hold on a second. We just may have stumbled upon something. So I'm going to identify this. We get 34 armor and 34 evasion, and some stun and block recovery. All right, so we're gonna trade that out. That's better. Now I can trade out my weapon because I've got a green and a red linked socket. I can right-click, put chance to bleed there, put double strike on my armor, and the game remembers your hotkey for the item, which is so nice. So now I can look at some of these other items that I have. So this glass shank gives me 6 to 10 physical damage. The attack is slightly slower, but it gives me a higher critical strike chance. This copper sword is slightly slower, but more damage. And this rusted sword, no, let's identify this copper sword. Plus 9 to strength, you gotta be level 5. I don't really feel like holding on to it right now. So let's trade this rusted sword out for this glass shank. And now we can go to Nessa, and if I hold control and click on Nessa, it will automatically bring me to her selling window. You can sell items to any NPC. Any items can go to any NPC that have a store. And she gave us some currency. So some of that, we got some scrolls of wisdom. We also got some transmutation shards. So 20 of these become an orb of transmutation, and some alteration shards. 20 of these become an orb of alteration. We'll discuss those when we get them.
Still alive.
Go talk to Tarkley and see what he has. Sometimes he has movement speed boots. And I think there's a quick way to look for it. I don't know. There's like shorthand that you can look for. I won't get into it because it's a little bit advanced for what we're trying to do. So so now, because I have a currency tab, when I control click these, those items are not going to go up here where you expect them to. They're going to go in my currency tab here. And when those hit 20, it's going to boop, it's going to automatically create an orb of transmutation. Okay. Okay, good stuff. So that is going to be it for today. Look at me, so dashing, so handsome. Also my character. But I want to thank you so much for hanging out and watching this episode. If it's something that you think you might enjoy watching more of, do me a favor and drop a like on here. I did enjoy making the first season, and that's why I wanted to make season 2, even though it's been quite some time. But yeah, let me know if this is helpful. We're going to continue on slow walkthrough of Path of Exile. Hope you enjoy. All the links that you need to know are down in the description. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time.